Welcome back to another episode of the Sportsmen. We have a lovely guest here, the Jet, Williamson. Joe, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. We got to pack and get ready. We got Miami tomorrow.
That's right. We have Miami. Jet, how are we doing today?
I'm good. I tell you, this is of all the things we've done. I'm not even kidding. This is like a big honor for me, and I've been hinting at it. I've been hinting at it for weeks. I'm like, yo, Sportsman, like, let me get on the Sportsman because there's nothing better than just talking sports. You know what I mean? With no, like, you just talk sports.
It's an honor
That's
for him, but he's never listened to a single episode.
I listened to the one when Bob was on. I listened to that so I could understand Bob's story of how he got to where he is. And then I listened to one other one.
We had Fat Perez on too, which was a really good.
That's the other one he listened to.
I've not heard the Fat Perez one. I forget which other one I listened to. I wanted to see what it was about because honestly, the clips you put out are great. So I think I saw one of the clips out, and then I was
we got Mr. Anderson working for us now, so we do have a page. We have clips.
Cutsy, who made that graphic of you guys cartoons with your picks for the week?
Mr. Anderson made all.
Mr. Anderson might be receiving a phone call soon.
You like that? Eh? He's
good.
This guy, Ticket, am I wrong? This guy is working harder than I am. He's sending us shit. Like, it's like our version of the Jet. It's very nice. The guy is dialed in. He's very, very focused. We'll probably work him to the core in about 6 months and he'll be ready to quit. But that's neither here nor there. The point of the matter is that he's crushing it right now. And the Sportsman is back. It's back.
Well, he's about to get a job offer for Bob Does Sports, apparently. So he's going to be ditching us pretty
Looks like
soon.
Sportsman's going back out of business.
And be honest, I've been so busy. I honestly have not seen that clip. I don't even know what clip you guys are talking about.
No, it was both of our bets. It's this one right here. And I shared it.
It was good.
It so just this goes to show Ticket must have been around the clock at the craps table.
Yeah, I was gambling my face.
To not have seen any of this. This was the clip. It was
this guy's on the
pick.
Instagram.
It was our picks.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
By the way, I got absolutely destroyed. Broncos, let's start off with the Denver Broncos.
Okay.
And it's relevant because no one was singing their praises more than Binyamin pre-season, going into the season, how they were going to be the best. This team stinks. And I'm done giving them chances. I'm done saying Russell's coming back. Jet, you were the biggest advocate. I want to know, are the Denver Broncos were the biggest frauds of the NFL season?
Yes, Broncos country is not riding anymore. But at the start of the year, I'm a big believer in Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson has been probably one of my. I know he's corny and all that, which is one of the reasons I like him, to be honest, because he's just so he's just so Russell Wilson, and I always believed him. What I've come to find out is that when he was in Seattle, he was getting a lot of help. I thought he was going to be able to come to Denver and just be Russell Wilson. They'd be like the Seahawks were a few years ago. And I was always believing when they played like garbage the first 4 weeks. And I was like, they're going to win the AFC Championship. And they are not going to win the AFC Championship.
Yeah, they're not even making the playoffs.
They're talking about shipping him out of town after this year. And it's like,
are they really?
I still believe in him. Like I'm okay with giving like a fluke year. With that being said, he looks awful.
To me, Ticket, and it would be like if you saw a small sample set of greatness followed by like long-standing periods of mediocrity. I would even be able to say, it's a new system. He's got to adjust. I have yet to see anything from Russell Wilson this year that leads me to believe that he's just adjusting to the system. He looks slow. He looks like he's not decisive. When he has to make a decision, he runs in circles in the pocket. He used to be able to take off and make plays. I don't see any of that. So to me, it's not just I'm ready to say that this guy robbed the franchise of a lot of money. And
Mr. Unlimited is looking pretty limited right now, man. He looks like shit.
He was traded and then signed, right? They traded. Yeah, because they traded their quarterback but then they gave him a huge extension. I think their coach,
and they gave them a high draft pick, Jet. They gave him I think they have like a high first round pick as well.
And the quarterback, it was not Rippon. Who was the
Brock
quarterback?
Osweiler.
No.
No, it wasn't. It was
Drew
the white
Lock.
guy.
Drew Lock. They traded Drew Lock.
Yes.
And he's a backup now. Also, the Broncos coach is like, he's like a mannequin with a headset. Like he's got nothing going on for him. Like he's not, even last game, I don't know if you saw last game, they had the ball, and this is going to be we were watching it. I think we were at Cutsies, and they had 2 minutes left, and they were playing the Raiders. They had no timeouts, and they drew up this horrible play through an incompletion instead of running the clock out, and then kicked it off, and the Raiders came down and won the game, or they won it overtime or something. But there is a difference to go from Pete Carroll to Nathaniel Hackett. There's a difference.
Do you like Nathaniel Hackett more than Josh McDaniels?
I don't know, to be honest. Nathaniel Hackett I don't know where he was. Josh McDaniels has had his runaround. Like even when years ago, he was a head coach for for a few games or something.
He was with the Patriots for a long time.
But he was with Denver, wasn't he with Denver?
He went to Denver, and he went for I don't even know if he made it a season or he left. He came back before the season started.
He was supposed to go to the Colts a couple of years ago.
The Colts, yeah.
Was going to take the job and then rescinded and went back to the Patriots.
Right.
He should have rescinded with the Raiders too, because it's been a disaster.
He's known to do some cheating as well himself. I think when he was coordinator somewhere, and there's stories about him being a little shady. So I don't know the difference between him, and I would take him over Nathaniel Hackett just because he's got you would think he has a pretty
good repertoire,
good track record as an offensive mind. Granted, he was on the Patriots, so they kind of ran the show for years. But I don't know. The jury's out on Nathaniel Hackett.
Now, Tick, I don't know. Were you able to watch the Sunday Nighter, the Packers-Eagles game?
Oh, I watched that. That's the only full game I watched. Yeah.
Big win for the Eagles. I think the Packers, they challenged. I mean, they made a push. The defense is a fucking disaster. This defense was touted as a potential top 10 defense in the league. The only thing they're in top 10 of is just giving up touchdowns, because this team gets gouged. Miles Sanders and Jalen Hurts, they ran the equivalent of 3 games worth of rushing yards on this team, and it was bad. Now, the story of the game, obviously, Aaron Rodgers goes down. I mean, I don't know what the fuck we're going to do now with this guy. I got to be honest, I thought Jordan Love was going to be a disaster. He looked pretty competent. He looked pretty good.
He had I feel like he threw one pass to Christian Watson and he took off for 70 yards, and now everyone's singing this kid's praises. But yeah, he played all right. I mean, I'm not a hater by any means, but
what I'm saying, the majority of the throws he made were good passes. He had a good pocket presence. He looked more confident than I've ever seen him before. The last time we saw him was last year. He played against the Chiefs. The guy looked horrific. I'm almost of the stance that he's going to get the rock now for the next couple games at least.
I saw you go right on the live as soon as the game was over. What were you spitting to the people up there?
I went on the live on the halftime, and I said, it'd be nice to see this team just show some heart. Sure enough, they didn't. But I mean, that being said, this is never going to be the Packers' year. To me, if I was saying at the end of it, I was also in the clouds when I went live, but I said that if I think we could get some reps for Jordan Love, and if he over the next 2, 3, 4 weeks can actually show me something and show the franchise that he's ready to take that next step, to me, the season would not be a failure. It would be a success in the sense that we can start building towards our next step. And I think the era of Aaron Rodgers is officially over in Green Bay. It hurts my whole heart to say that. I want him to win. He's not going to win in Green Bay right now.
He's getting $50 million a year.
I would love nothing more than they could trade him somewhere where he could go and win a Super Bowl, roll off into the sunset.
They've disrespected him a lot. And since I mean, even before Jordan Love, but even Jordan Love and then Devontae, and then they just disrespected the guy. But at the end of the day, he could have walked and he took $50 million. So now he's just got to, suffer through the last 2 years.
I do think there's still plenty of teams that would take his contract on in order to try to make a push to win the Super Bowl.
Do you think Aaron Rodgers, with a better team around him, is still the same guy? Or are you seeing signs of decline regardless of the talent surrounding him?
The offensive line has been really depleted this year, and he's not getting time. He's not as nimble as he was like 3, 4, 5 years ago, where he could just take off out of the pocket. He needs more protection now. He's getting up there in age, and I think if you gave him the offensive line that the Indianapolis Colts had, for example, I'm not saying they would win a Super Bowl, but they would be a much, much better team. I think most places, if he went to the Giants, I think they would be there's a bunch of places I think he could go.
What's this infatuation with the Giants, by the way? Why does everyone want to go there? Why do people they're a paper bowl? I don't understand.
Denver.
I'd like to see him go to the Raiders of all places. I think
Odell's thinking about
with
going
Devontae.
Yeah.
But the Giants, they got a good coach. They got, he's a good coach. He's like a guy's guy. I don't know.
Jet, break down the Odell Beckham situation for me.
I don't understand what is like. I don't even think Odell made he made the greatest catch in NFL history, and he's been living off that since. Odell Beckham. I don't mean this like he's a slot receiver. He's Wes Welker. Like you know what I mean? Like he's a guy
you catch the deep ball, Jet.
I know he's not. Odell Beckham is not a guy you throw a ball up to go get. He's like 6 feet. He's a guy. You throw a slant to him. You hope he catches it and takes off for 60 yards. But I just don't think he's gotten by on that. And now he's doing this whole like attention thing where he's like trying to get people involved. So what team's Odell going to go in this or that? And then he got kicked off an airplane. So I don't know what's going on.
Actually, in our podcast this week, we did a buy and sell on the Brilliantly Done podcast. I sold Odell Beckham. I think the guy's a clown.
He is a clown. He wasn't that good. He wasn't even his last year in LA. He wasn't that good, but he's one of those guys. It's like OBJ. Like it doesn't matter. He could be 50 years old and people are going to be like, where he's just cool. He's a brand. He's like iconic. So everybody's like, OBJ, listen, you make one catch, you're star forever.
I do think if he went to a team like the Cowboys, I think he would be somewhat successful in the sense that like they have other good receivers like CeeDee Lamb, Gallup's pretty solid, around him that he would draw one-on-one coverage. And I think he could get open and make some plays downfield. But the guy is an absolute lunatic. Tigga, did you hear what he did on the plane?
Yeah, he was going in and out of consciousness and wouldn't get off.
He refused to put his seatbelt on.
Yeah.
And they asked him multiple times. So they had to deboard the entire fucking plane because this guy wouldn't put his seatbelt on. Could you imagine if Jet was on that flight getting ready to go to Miami for the Breezy Invitational and he has to deboard the plane because OBJ doesn't want to put his seatbelt on? We could be looking at some damage.
just fly private. Like, what do you got to like?
Yeah, I don't know. He doesn't have money anymore.
I mean, he's looking for a contract apparently, but he's not even going to get. Also, when is the deadline? Like, can he just show up in the playoffs? Like, he just keeps pushing it and pushing it. When can he sign until?
I don't know. I thought it was his time was up, but apparently not. I don't know. Plus, let's not forget that he just coming off of a surgery, blew his ACL out. It's not like the guy is fresh as a daisy.
Yeah, he's not spry.
He's the type of guy. He's going to sign with a team, and everybody's like, OBJ, and then 2 weeks in, he's like, I'm not getting the ball enough. Like, bro, like, you just fucking, like, what? I'm telling you,
the playbook 2 days ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly even think that the George Pickens pick earlier this year was better than his. I thought it was an amazing catch, the best catch of all time. I don't know.
Justin Jefferson made a catch against Buffalo that was better as well.
That's right.
I don't know. I do think that was an iconic catch.
And if you want to go back,
it was the first of its kind. Once he did that, everybody started trying to do that.
I tell you what, you want to go back and see some real catches? Check out a guy named Hank Baskett playing for the Philadelphia Eagles circa 2008.
When he fumbled the onside kick in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, no, I don't remember that.
He was on the Colts.
Yeah.
How about
I don't know.
How about Freddie Mitchell?
Can we not bring him up? I fucking hate that guy. 4th and 26. Fine. I had to watch this guy's fucking faux hawk fly off on the sidelines after a 4th and 26 Donovan McNabb throw. Another soft Packers defense, man.
How about Cutsy? How about Bubba Franks, 12 yards over the middle?
Bubba Franks, yes. Gotta love good old Bubba
I love.
Franks.
I'm a Bears fan, but anytime they said Bubba Franks, I did chuckle.
How can you not like a guy whose name is Bubba?
You have to, yeah.
You got, I mean, except for Bob with Bubba Watson. But Tick, one thing I wanted to ask you, Jed and I, we've had some sporting, leisurely like viewing parties, whatever you want to call it. But we've been watching the World Cup a lot. Have you been checking it out? Did you see Team USA won today, going up against the Netherlands? There's been some good games. Are you in on that at all, or you just don't give a shit?
Jet's low-key a pretty big soccer guy, and I didn't understand it until I'd come over and work, and he'd just like have soccer games on and be like, what's going on here? And he's like, yeah, during the pandemic, I became a big soccer guy. It's the only thing to bet on. So
he knows a lot. He's like, that's Vinicius Jr.
He really does. He's great with names of athletes of all sports. Like, I mean, he'll tell you the best cricket player right now if you ask him. I don't know any of that stuff. I couldn't even name you one soccer player. I did watch America. I did watch USA today. It was Iran. I mean, we were supposed to, right? I mean, I don't really know. We were supposed to beat them.
Well, they were so salty, but yeah, we were supposed to win.
There's civil unrest going on in that country, and we're not supposed to blow them out. I mean, it's a little ridiculous, but so we're moving on from what I hear. We're playing the Netherlands.
Yeah, we're playing Netherlands next.
Are we supposed to get crushed?
Memphis Depay.
Memphis Depay, yeah.
And Virgil van Dijk.
Nicholas de Jong.
Netherlands is cool because they have cool they got those orange jerseys, but it doesn't even look like real orange. It looks like it's like Netherlands, or it's not even like Tennessee. It's just bright orange.
Yeah,
it's like, come on that field.
It's more like a Syracuse orange.
Yeah. Jim Boeheim plays fullback for that.
They're a good team. They're a good squad.
I think the U.S. is going to be big underdogs. The U.S. they're good, but they have this issue where they can't score. Like they will dump the ball in. They'll throw these crosses into I call it the paint because of basketball, but into the fucking 18-foot box, into the box, and they'll have 10 chances and just not get it home. They've scored 2 goals in 3 games.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Did they score? Yeah, 2 goals. Yeah.
Yeah, in 3 games. I mean, they moved through, which is cool. And I guess we'll see. I guess who knows? There's 16 teams left, so you go on a run. Who knows? Maybe they can
see this new thing that was released today on TikTok, and apparently it's big enough that it's making headlines. This guy claims to be a time traveler, and is saying that he has footage that Brazil is beating France in the final 2-1. He's listed all the players who scored, and now people are firing bets on both Brazil and France to make it to the finals. Is that not what world are we living in nowadays?
Can you imagine being a time traveler and coming back and telling us nothing besides the score of the World Cup final? Just absolutely nothing.
Vegas is going to hate this guy. They're going to have a bullseye on this guy's back.
Guys, he could offer so much, and he's like, I'll give you 1 game. It's crazy.
It's a pretty big game in his defense. That's a pretty big game.
It is a pretty big game.
Yeah.
And how far from the future is he? Like just a couple of days?
I
or
have all
yeah,
those
no, I know.
details.
That guy's a clown. I mean, no one knows. It's just ridiculous. And like Jed said, America could make it right. Anyone can. I mean, is Brazil supposed to be the best? Are they supposed to be the best?
Brazil is ranked the #1 team in the world.
But they've been bad, right? I think they haven't been so good in the tournament. Again, I have no idea. I just made that up. But France
is Ronaldo really still playing for them?
Ronaldo is on Portugal.
Oh,
Ronaldo was kind of a clown as well.
Or I'm sorry, Ronaldinho.
Well, there was
Ronaldinho was actually he's the time traveler.
There was another the original Ronaldo was on Brazil, and he was a stud.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Did you see the last game Portugal played? They made a last-second goal, and Ronaldo tried heading it in, and it missed his head and went in. And everybody is celebrating like Portugal won, and during the celebration he's complaining to the ref. He's like, "It went off my head, like it's my goal." As if to get like credit for the goal, and it's like you just won the game. Are you?
If you had to take him or you had to take Messi?
That's what I'm going to ask you. You tell me because you would know more than me.
For me, from a goal scoring perspective, I think Ronaldo is the better of the two, just from pure goal scoring. But from an all round player in terms of contributions, in terms of passing and the impact that they have on the game, I think Messi is a better all-around player.
I hear that. And from my experience playing FIFA, I would agree.
And by the way, one of the low-key best nicknames of all time in sports, the Flea. One of the best nicknames.
Who's that? I didn't even know that.
Messi used to be nicknamed the Flea because he was so small that he would just fly around like nobody could see him, and he was just flying down the field. He was like the new modern-day Maradona.
It's absolutely unbelievable to me that Cristiano Ronaldo is still playing. He's been playing since I was 8 years old. He's like Colt McCoy on Texas.
Played his first.
He played 9 years throwing to Jordan Shipley in Austin,
His first
Texas.
Euro Cup, he played the finals against Greece, and it was in like 2002, maybe, I want to say. He was like 17 years old.
Yeah.
And he's been playing internationally since.
He's the greatest Instagram model of all time as well.
By the way, Jet did not believe me. Nobody has more Instagram followers than Cristiano Ronaldo.
That's right.
I did believe you, but you said way too many. I think he's
570 million.
No way.
I think it's like 260.
No, it's over.
Holy shit. 506 million. He's got burners. He has burner accounts.
How many?
Fuckload of burners.
506 million, but they got to be burners.
500 million followers on Instagram.
Let's check the engagement real quick.
Not even.
The engagement is there, Jet. I kid you.
What if Ronaldo? Yeah, Ronaldo's like Bang Energy in stores.
I wonder what he's charging for an Instagram story. It's got to be like $5 million.
I don't even think he does. I think it's just his, like, once
you get that big, you don't even need to do that. You have all the major sponsorships in the world.
Yeah, he's probably a big FTX guy. All those clowns just like sliding under the radar. Like, what are you talking about, FTX? What do you mean?
I mean, I don't think I would want to be that big. 500 million? Like, imagine you can't take a shit without half the fucking world knowing about it.
He's got one hell of a sexy bust, though. Have you seen that thing?
No, where?
The sculpture that they made of him, where his face was lopsided, like he got Botox. Yeah. It was just horrible.
I tell you, it was better than the fucking sculpture the Washington football team put up for Sean Taylor the other day. You saw that?
No.
You didn't see that? So I think it was I don't want to get this wrong because it's like a serious thing, but I guess it was the anniversary or not, like it was like 15 years since he died.
Mm-hmm.
He was killed. And so they unveiled this like statue of him. Mm-hmm. It's just a mannequin with a Sean Taylor jersey, and people were roasting. It was super disrespectful, and people were like roasting Dan Snyder. Like, all right, now like that's enough. Like now he's got to go.
Yeah, is Pat Tillman gonna get a sculpture? Bad?
No, it was just disrespectful. Let me see if I can find it for you. It's like they unveiled a mannequin. It's like you can go to Nordstrom and find the same thing. Hold on, let me find it.
You know who's got one hell of a sculpture is Nick Foles outside of Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia.
They already put one up?
Dude, they put one up 4 months after he won. Oh, no.
He may as well be in a Dick's Sporting Goods.
That's exactly what it looks like. It's in the center of a Dick's Sporting Goods.
It's so disrespectful, but that's the Washington football team.
Now, Jet, what do you is Justin Fields? Are you guys going to shut him down for the rest of the year? What's happening with that?
I'd be fine if he was shut down for the rest of the year. It's a little weird because he came in, he got everybody shit on him for a year and a half. He made a few plays, and now they're like, he's the answer. So I don't know. There's a problem where like teams will run and fans will run quarterback. Like quarterback's the toughest position to play, I would say, in sports, after right field. But I imagine that like, I see a ticket. So I imagine that you need a few years to develop into a quarterback. Like, whereas like Aaron Rodgers, for example, he sat behind Brett Favre, he struggled, and then he figured it out. It's like you get into the zone where like Daniel Jones is in that zone now where he's in like year 5. And now it's like, okay, you developed a little bit. And now like, are you a quarterback in the NFL or are you not? So Fields is not even there yet. And at the same time, he's not a traditional quarterback. And
you also have some guys like
stinks, and the Bears team stinks. And he's
still guys like Mahomes.
I've always been a fan.
who took 1 year. You have guys like Herbert who came right out of the gates.
But that's fine. But I'm saying if a QB is struggling in year one, you simply cannot run him out of town.
Of course, I agree.
Yeah,
especially if he's a high draft.
Peyton Manning was terrible in his rookie.
I know, but that was when people gave QBs time. Whereas now, if a quarterback stinks, everybody goes out and uproar on the internet, and then the teams. I think they feel pressure to like win, and they make changes.
it's true. Look at Trevor Lawrence. He sucked his first season, and now he's one of the greats. What I don't understand, what I don't understand for real though, this is a genuine. I do not understand why guys like Trevor Siemian still have jobs in the NFL. Like, how is there no one who comes out of college? There's 800 quarterbacks who graduate every year. Whatever happened to Kyle Trask? Is that guy in the NFL somewhere? He's got to be better than Trevor Siemian.
I think he is.
It's just unbelievable. Brady Quinn.
Trevor Siemian is a
Brady Quinn's not playing anymore. Tick, he's on the college.
I know, but my point is he Trevor Siemian still gets to have a job, but Brady Quinn couldn't. Matt Leinart couldn't come out and play.
Trevor Siemian's probably putting in the work.
Well, fair. That's fair, I guess. But it's just the same names recycle as backup quarterbacks forever. Who's the guy with the long neck?
Teddy Bridgewater
Mike
will be a backup quarterback for the rest of his life.
Mike Glennon has had a job way too long.
By the way, do you know Nathan Peterman is still a third-string quarterback in the NFL?
Of course he is.
Because if Siemian didn't play for the Bears this week, it was gonna be Nathan Peterman.
I think if you show, like, if you play for a year, like I think it's like a trust thing. Like Trevor Siemian is like, okay, like we can throw him out there and like, yeah, we'll get our asses kicked, but like, it's not like, I think he's earned the respect around the league. There is something to be said to be a quality backup or third string quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
There's some good backups, like Jacoby Brissett's a capable backup.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. He's doing a fine job.
Guys who are out of the league. Did you see, by the way, different sport, but similar thing? Dwight Howard is playing in Japan or something now, and he's drilling 3-pointers.
Yeah,
he's just chucking threes, and he's drilling 3-pointers, and he's dominating this league. I think it's in Taiwan, actually. And I was like, Dwight, there's room in the NBA for Dwight Howard. I don't know if he's getting the biggest baguette.
But he's probably taller than anybody else on the floor.
Yeah, but he's still serviceable in the NBA. Like, he can play in the NBA.
I'm surprised he's not still in the Lakers, to be honest. You
see
ticket last night, the Lakers were up 17 points.
Yeah.
And they blew it. They fucking blew it.
There are some guys in these leagues, they're both good players, but they just don't mesh well together, like John Wall and Bradley Beal. Anthony Davis and LeBron James just don't work. They really don't.
Westbrook's starting to look good.
And when you're starting to say that, that's a problem for your team.
Yeah. You sound like that time traveler. Yeah. And Anthony Davis fakes a career-ending injury every game. You will not play one game where at some point in the game he's on the ground and you think his career's over, and then he gets up and runs on the court and is back to full.
There was a play like 2 games ago where someone was down on the ground and he reached down to try to grab his hand to pick them up, and he fell and he injured himself in the process. Yeah.
It was LeBron. He was going to help pick him up, and he just completely slipped on imaginary sweat and just went to the ground like a ton of bricks.
He limped around, and then he got back on.
As soon as I saw that, I was dying.
He's a mess, man, and you can't count on him. I mean, even if he has like a great 20-game stretch, how could you possibly count on him?
He did have a few amazing games in a row.
And good for him for that. That's
Anthony
really good.
Davis, are you talking about Anthony Davis?
Yeah.
He's supposed to have 81 amazing games in a row. Like he was considered to be the best player in the league for like a little bit, before Kawhi Leonard falsely stole that from him.
No one is touching the Celtics this year. This team looks unfucking believable.
Yeah. Be ashamed if one of their coaches got into a scandal.
Yeah. Now the trainer can actually do her job instead of so someone's got to explain to me while we're on basketball real quick before we go back to football. Jet, maybe you can break down for me Zion Williams. What's the story? What's the deal?
What do you mean? What's the deal?
Does he play? Is he just making shoes now? I don't understand.
He's like an internet meme, I think is what he's become.
Okay.
Just for like, To be honest, I'm not exactly sure. By the way, you moved from the Red Bull. What is that? Is that another energy drink?
No, that's a non-alcoholic IPA.
Wow.
I gotta be
AKA near beer.
Run
I
wild.
think Zion Williamson. Do you remember his first of all, he's obviously the greatest, probably the best college player ever. I don't want people to get upset saying that, but he was in that one year. He came to the NBA. He dominated the NBA in that first year, and then he disappeared.
Well, he got hurt.
I know they were saying it was like a foot injury, this or that, and then he came back and he was 378 pounds, and now it's like this back and forth, I think. But to be honest, I haven't followed too much of the NBA. I see it all online and like what's going on. He's become a massive meme, just like for food, and that's all I really know about him.
Do you think he was a better college player than Tyler Hansbrough?
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Tyler Hansbrough is a college basketball player. Do you know what I mean? Like Zion Williamson, he was the best player in college, but he's not a college basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
Like Kyle Singler is a college basketball player.
Right.
But I would say Zion was better than all of them for sure. But they don't.
Jimmer Fredette was a good college basketball.
Exactly. And now he plays for the Shanghai Sharks. But Zion, I would say, does not. He's a one and done. He doesn't, represent necessarily college basketball like those other guys did. But now everybody's a one and done, and good for him. He was my favorite player in college when he busted through that shoe.
And now he signed a $200 million shoe deal. I mean, he's got that no matter what. I don't know.
He's never got to work again. Yeah.
Yeah. And didn't the Pelicans just re-sign him even though he was injured?
I think so.
They signed him for a baguette.
Yeah, he got a big baguette.
He got a big.
The last thing that guy needs is another baguette.
I like him. He's cool, and also he's like a child. I think he's like just turned 19 or 20 or something. Like these guys are kids, so like let him eat.
I have not an idea what his voice sounds like. I've never heard him speak. All right, let's move back to football. And before we jump into this, like we usually run down Jet and we'll talk about the lines of each game and we'll give our like just gut predictions. And I want to do that with you. But before we get there, you're a big fraud guy. There's a lot of good teams you've got beef with. There's a lot of bad teams you think are better than they are. Let me just throw you a handful of names and you just give me fraud or not. Maybe a one sentence synopsis.
I love this. Go hit me.
All right. Buffalo Bills.
No, what's the opposite of a fraud? Real.
Legit.
I did find out yesterday that Matt Ryan leads the league in turnovers, tied with Josh Allen. So
yeah, well, he might need Tommy John surgery. I'm here.
Josh Allen. Yeah, well, he's only throwing 95, so it would be important to get that surgery before next year. But
his elbow, it's all fucked.
No, I know, but I was surprised to see he leads the league in turnovers. But I'm like, he's got like that Brett Favre like gunslinger mentality to him, where it's like he's going to throw picks, but he's also going to make the best plays you've ever seen. So not a fraud.
Okay, New York Giants.
Frauds, the biggest frauds you can ever come across, dude. They went like 5-1. I think they didn't beat one good team in 6 games. Mm-hmm. They went to Seattle and they lost to the Seahawks by a bunch. And then they got smoked by Dallas. That's the thing. It's like the Bears every year when I used to watch. They beat the shitty teams and then you play a real team and they lose. And it's like, if you can't, the only way to separate yourself in the NFL, you got to beat good teams. And they're just not. They're not going to beat good teams. They're going to sneak into the playoffs and lose in the wild card weekend. And then Brian Daboll will be on the hot seat.
All right, Los Angeles Chargers.
I'm undecided. Their
jury's
coach is
out.
A fraud. Their head coach is a fraud. I think Justin Herbert does not get enough credit. Their head coach goes for it on 4th and 22 from his own 7. He's a fraud. But the rest of the team, I like them, but they're not with him in charge. They're not going anywhere. They're a good team, but they're not going to go anywhere.
Okay, 2 more. Jacksonville Jaguars.
I honestly don't. I haven't seen one Jacksonville game. They always play at 7 a.m. because every week they play in a different country. So I don't know. I can't tell you anything about Jacksonville. I don't know. Is Urban Meyer still the head coach?
No one's played in the United Kingdom as much as the Jacksonville Jaguars.
They're sick. They're more sick of Jacksonville than they are of their shitty food. The toy soldiers and fish and chips have to go, but so does the Jacksonville Jaguars.
You ever see that Bill Burr bit where he's like vlogging he's eating food in England. Then he's like, oh, I finally get why the people are always pissed off. It's like the food tastes like shit here.
Yeah.
We literally have baked beans for breakfast.
All right, and finishing off,
they have good food out in West Gloucestershire.
Gloucestershire. I'll bring the rifle. And then the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh man!
Wow.
The Eagles. I don't know.
Come on, man.
Opinion, but Ticket.
Come on, man.
Like I'm fucking Adam Schefter. Like I'm just spewing out of my ass here. To me, the Eagles have not proven it. It's the same thing. They got to beat some good teams. They got to beat some more good teams.
Who would you say is your top 3 teams in the NFC? Top 3 teams in the AFC? Because we did this last week, and Ticket, I think mine still stays the same.
I'm gonna blank on some, but I would say in the AFC you have the Chiefs, obviously. Yep. You have the Bills. They're gonna be in the AFC Championship, you would think. And then who else in the AFC that's good?
There's a lot.
A couple of weeks ago, he would have said the Broncos.
I would have said.
All right, so you think the
Dolphins, maybe the Dolphins are good.
It's the thing is those two teams separate themselves from everybody else. That there's not really like a third team.
Well, the Dolphins are 8-3.
Prior to all the injuries, the Ravens were a team that was up there.
The Ravens are a good one. And then in the NFC, and I hate to say this, but I'm going to say the Cowboys, the Vikings. Well, the Eagles. There's a bunch of teams. The NFC is like wide open between the Cowboys, the Eagles. The Vikings,
I think the
Niners, who I hate to say are good, but they are. I'm a big Jimmy G hater, but
yeah, you are.
So that's 4, and then you know who else is going to sneak in is the Bucks.
Yeah,
and they're gonna fucking be in like the second round.
All right, well I mean, I'm surprised that you aren't. I just wish you would have said the Eagles are frauds. I just wanted to hear you say it. I do because they are.
I could see it in his eyes. He was thinking it.
I don't think they're frauds.
They're 100% frauds.
I don't know. You're just trying to set yourself up for you're trying to level the expectations.
You know what's going on is just Ticket does not want to get his hopes up. So he's hoping if enough people tell him that this team's a fraud, that he won't believe in them. And then when they go in the playoffs and they lose in the first round, his heart won't be crushed.
There's a little bit of truth to that, but they have not beaten a single good team, though. That's
what I was going to say. And they lost to Washington.
To Washington.
So, but the
Commanders are a pretty solid team this year.
Heineke is pretty good, but a loss. Everybody's entitled to a loss. You know what I mean? Like you can lose to a bad team, but you're right. They have not beaten anybody of like the Chiefs. If the Chiefs were faced off against them, they'd be 4.5 point favorites or more.
I would say more. Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, let's move on, boys. Let's get this thing moving. Let's roll down most of the games this week. I'm going to give you the spreads. You give me some gut reactions on which way you would bet. This is all spread. We're not doing money lines. We're not doing over-unders.
I didn't look last week. I think I did bad, Tick. I think we did bad.
You did? Yeah. Well, Mr. E.A. Anderson wrote loser right under your pick, so I'd assume you did pretty bad.
Thanks, Tick. That's really nice.
Hey, he wrote it. All right, so for our Thursday night game in a couple of days here, we got the Bills at New England, 4-point favorites for the Bills. Who do you like? Joey D.
I like the Patriots.
You're going to get the 4 points and you're taking the Patriots. Wow, over your boy Josh Allen.
He's banged up, man. They struggled with the Lions on Thanksgiving. That Patriots defense is really solid. And I think it's a big enough game. The Patriots are still in this thing, man. Like they win this game, they're right there. I think Belichick gets a team. I think the Bills will win, but I think they win by a field goal.
All right, Jet, what do you think?
I like the Patriots also. I hate going against Belichick, even though the Patriots are different now. He seems to always game plan the better teams better. So, and then they take away the best offense, the best piece of the other team, and they're always in it. So I'll take the Patriots.
Yeah, it's in Foxborough too. I'm going to take the Bills though. I am. I just don't like Mac Jones. I don't like the Patriots right now. Give me the Bills. All right, Eagles playing Tennessee. They're in Philadelphia. Philadelphia is a 5-point favorite.
I'll take Tennessee to cover with the points.
I'm going to take
Tennessee.
I hate to say
it. I think they're just going to run the ball with Derrick Henry a lot.
I mean,
I'm
we
gonna
just
take Tennessee
bodied
also.
you guys with our offensive line. You don't think we can do the same thing to Tennessee?
Tennessee's a much better team than the Green Bay Packers. And I hate to say it, but they are.
They're also like 1 week they look good, the next week half the team didn't show up. So I agree though. I mean, when they're good, when they bring it, I mean,
They can
good
run the clock. They can dominate time of possession. And you know what? Their defense is better than you think. They're not that bad a team.
I tell you what, it's a hot take and they'll never do it. But if they put that Malik Willis kid in right now, is that his name from Liberty?
Yeah.
If they put him in, they would be 10-1, and they would be in.
He barely threw a pass when he played against the Chiefs.
No.
I like that kid a lot, and I like him a whole lot more than Ryan Tannehill. That guy, you want to talk about a fraud? It's Ryan Tannehill.
Are you taking your Eagles?
Ryan Tannehill is not a fraud. He's just 80% of NFL quarterbacks. He's Joe Flacco in another body.
He's just not good.
I mean, when you look at his contract, I think I can call him a fraud. I mean, there's no reason.
Kirk Cousins says this. They all make the same. Kirk Cousins, Joe Flacco, Ryan Tannehill. They're all the same person. But listen, but they're all guys. You're right. They're all guys you're not going to do anything with in the long term.
Joe Flacco won a Super Bowl at the absolute opportune time, and that's the only reason he made this bag.
Of all time. Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
exactly. Lombardi.
All right, I'm going to take the Eagles. They're going to be covering in that game in Lincoln Financial. Come on, take the Eagles. Seattle in Los Angeles playing the Rams. Seattle is a 7.5-point favorite.
Whoa. Is Matthew Stafford playing?
I do not believe so.
If Stafford plays, I would think about taking the Rams. I would probably, if I was looking at this, I would buy it down a point and take the Seahawks by a touchdown.
Okay.
I'm gonna take the Seahawks also. Not even by. They're like Tennessee. They either show up or they don't. But I think
plus they just lost a heartbreaking loss to the Raiders. I think they bounced back.
And the Rams are a broken team.
They look like a disaster.
They got their coach taking headbutts on the side.
Yeah. All right, skipping ahead a little bit here. We got the Packers, Green Bay in Chicago.
Tick, you didn't make a pick.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take Seattle. Didn't I take Seattle?
You didn't say.
Yeah, I'll take Seattle.
So
we're going to Green Bay, playing Chicago. Green Bay's a 4-point favorite in Chicago.
Big
Is
one.
Fields playing?
Jet.
I have no idea. I haven't.
I don't think Fields is playing, and for that reason, I would take the Green Bay Packers.
I was going to say the same thing. If Justin Fields is not playing, they're going to score 7 points. So
is Aaron Rodgers playing?
I think if Jordan Love is better than Trevor Siemian, I'm sorry.
That game stinks. That's the worst.
It does
game
stink. It stinks very much.
No, it's just a 10:00 game. All right, moving forward, we got.
Who are you taking, Tick?
Oh, geez, boy, oh boy! With the Jet here, I'm all turned around. I like the Bears, man. I think the Bears are a quality team, and the Packers are in shambles, man. I don't see a whole lot. When you look at the guys on paper, especially that defense, I don't understand why they're not better. I really don't, which leads me to the defensive coordinator. But for those reasons, I'm going to take the Bears, and I'm going to take the plus 4 points. All right, we're moving on. New York Jets playing the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings are a 3-point favorite. Who do you like, Joey Da?
Where's the game?
In Minnesota. Bighorn game.
Oh, boy. Fucking
Metrodome.
Give me the Jets.
I like that.
I told you both. This Vikings team is frauds. I think Mike White is an upgrade, to be honest, from fucking, bang boss, bang your mom, fucking, Mr. What was
Bang Bros? Bang Bros.
I honestly think Mike White, I think he's got good chemistry. I think the Jets win this game.
Oh, I'm taking Minnesota. I by a bunch.
I'm not on.
I like Minnesota. Well, Minnesota just covered against New England, and they did have that. They had that fraudulent. Not a fraud. They got their ass kicked by Dallas. They woke up. They put the grills in, and they're back in action.
All right.
I like the Jets a lot. I mean, they've got a lot of grit to them. I'm going to take them in the 3 points.
Wow.
Moving on here to the Dolphins. They're playing in San Francisco. San Francisco is a 4-point favorite. Who do you like, Joey D?
I like the Niners. I think this is the time where there's a lot of hype around the Dolphins right now, and for good reason. They're playing really good, but they're going to come into a team that can dominate them on both sides of the football. I think the Niners win by a touchdown, to be honest.
I like the Niners too, and just because also the Dolphins are hit or miss, and the Niners, I was wrong. I hate the Niners. I still don't like the Niners, but their offense can score at all different. Like their offense is amazing right now. By the way, I also feel like I'm on College Game Day as a celebrity picker right now. This is electric.
You are Pat McAfee.
This is electric. Yeah. I'm like the country. I'm like Luke. What's his name? The country singer they always bring out.
Luke Bryan.
Like, give me the Georgia Bulldogs in every game.
Well, I mean, to tell you what, Jeff, if we see a spike in views, we might have to bring you back.
Whoa, yeah, we absolutely will. Even if we see a dip in views, your ass is coming back. I mean, this is.
I mean, there's not much to see. There's not that many views to base it off of.
That guy came over in Memphis, one of the nicest downtowns in the world.
Yes. Ticket has never been more proud in his entire life.
I would be too.
Guy came up to us, the entire Bob Does Sports team sitting around, doesn't say anything about Bob Does Sports, just goes, I'm a big fan of the Sportsmen, and I got to tell you, I loved your Lamar Jackson take. Ticket was like he just floated off the ground. And this guy was such a good kid too.
Yeah,
he
was cool style.
Bought us all beers.
I'm sure that he's not listening anymore based on that Lamar Jackson pick. I mean, that turned out to be a real stinker. But yeah, nice guy, good city.
Are you taking the Niners?
Of course. I'm a huge Jimmy G guy. He's my guy. I mean, no one stood behind him other than me and maybe brilliantly dumb. Let's see here. Moving on to Chiefs, Cincinnati. Chiefs are favored by 2.5 points. Who do you like, Joe?
Is it in Cincinnati? It's got to be
Cincinnati. Yep.
I still love the Chiefs. Now, I think Kelsey might have gotten hurt last game. I think he's banged up. I don't know how bad, but I still like the Chiefs. I mean, you're getting a field goal. Now, I should probably fade the public and go with the Bengals, but just give me Mahomes. Mahomes is on fire right now. MVP to me, MVP is Patrick Mahomes of the NFL season right now.
I totally forgot what game we're talking about.
It was Chiefs at Bengals. Chiefs are favored 2.5.
Oh, Chiefs.
Yeah,
I thought 2.5. Yeah, though last year, do you remember the Bengals Chiefs game in Cincinnati last year? How ridiculous that came down to at the end with all those penalties. You have no idea what I'm talking about.
No, don't remember that game whatsoever. I'm sure it was a barn burner though.
The Chiefs shut them down at the goal line, and then the refs threw some blatant flag and gave them 4 more downs at the one.
I do remember the Raiders Bengals game because that was fucking electric.
I don't remember that one.
That was the first game. It was in Cincinnati, and it was just a barn burner back and forth. It was a great game.
Yeah, there are just some people out there who have wild memories. Like you could be like season 7, episode 2 of Friends. What was the name of it? And be like, yeah, the one Phoebe, whatever. You're like that with NFL games. I could just say 2012, San Francisco 49ers, week 3. It's like, yeah, that was against the Chargers. I believe it was 47-30. And that's how you
I wish
are.
I was like that. I'm not like that, but I can do it was a Tuesday and it was cold outside when he made that catch.
Yeah, what was the weather in New York when Odell Beckham made that catch?
It was brisk.
It was on a Sunday night, though. Chris Collins was on the call. And, can I just say this? Because I don't know if I just want to get one thing off my chest because I'm just trying to get all my takes out here because this is the first time I've ever been on the show. Chris Collinsworth is the worst announcer ever in history.
He's pretty bad.
I'm not even saying it. I shouldn't be that harsh on him because he's okay. The problem is every single week, I've told you this, Ticket, every single week, there is a play that happens that he says is the greatest play he's ever seen in his life. And that can't happen every week.
He also finds one guy on the field and just kisses his ass the entire game.
Absolutely. And also when he does that stupid ass quarterback, how long it takes them to throw the ball. And he's like, this guy's at 1.4 and this guy's at 3.2. Makes no fucking difference, Chris. Okay. So let's stop doing that. And let's stop saying that every play is the greatest play you've ever seen. Because that's just it's just false.
He'd be great on The Bachelor, the most dramatic season yet. All right, moving on.
Did you take the Chiefs or the Bengals?
I'm taking the Chiefs, man. The Bengals, they've got one of the worst offensive lines in the game. They're wishy-washy every other week. They look great. Joe Burrow looks like the second coming of Joe Montana. The next week they look like shit. So I'm taking the Chiefs, obviously, on this roll that they're going on. And let's go to the night game. Last game we're going to do Colts in Dallas. Dallas is an 11-point favorite. Who do you like, Joe?
Oh, man, that's a lot of points. Give me Dallas. Give me
Mr.
Dallas.
Jeff?
Yeah, I like Dallas.
The Colts, man. I took the Steelers to beat them last night. Matt Ryan is fucking bad, man. They've got to figure it out. This guy's done. He's done. Yeah. He's dusted. And the Cowboys are playing with a little chip on their shoulders right now. I mean, they're playing good. Playing good football.
Yeah. As much as I respect the the coaching legacy and resume of Jeff Saturday, I don't think they're going to get it done this week.
It's unbelievable that you can have an offensive line like they do, Michael Pittman and Jonathan Taylor, and just be as anemic and shitty as they are, man.
Yeah.
But that being said, I'm going to take the Colts. It's a lot of points.
Jeff Saturday has a patch.
He does.
Gray patch of hair, and it is
he's a beauty.
Jet, did you know that Michael Pittman's brother plays in college?
Dexter Pittman?
He plays for like Florida State or something. I thought that's something you would absolutely know, and of course I bring it up, you don't know it.
Michael Pittman, I don't know.
I think it's Florida State. I was watching the Florida State game, and his brother caught a pass.
What happened to that player on the Florida Gators? He was an electric wide receiver. He went to the Giants. I forget his name. And now he's just like unheard of.
The really fast little guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Richie James?
No.
Wait, is that the guy who smoked a ton of weed and just like never became anything?
Well, he's still with them.
No, who's the legendary Miami Dolphins running back who like
Ricky Williams.
Ricky Williams. Yeah.
That guy became somebody. He was a somebody who became a
legend. Yeah.
Really fast after a lot of guns.
Became a nobody.
Hey, yeah.
After a lot of guns, he became
Jamaica?
Like a yoga instructor, and he smoked a ton of weed.
Yeah, he like went to Jamaica and left. He like pulled a Dave Chappelle, like turned down millions.
I think he owns a grow up now.
Are you serious?
Like a dispensary.
Of course he does.
I'm looking up this Giants wide receiver, Kadarius Toney.
I was going to say Kadarius Toney, but he's now with the Chiefs.
He's with the Chiefs, and he played really well last week too.
Oh, yeah.
No, he got hurt.
He's a little last week.
He got hurt.
Last week he played extremely well. Like not yesterday or 2 days ago. I'm talking about the week prior. He played extremely well.
I think it was 2 weeks ago, Tick.
Yeah. All right, boys. Well, that was another good one. This was a blast.
Wait. We got to do one thing, Tick. You got to pick the one game of the week that you like.
All right. The one game of the. Do you know yours?
I don't. I was hoping you knew yours.
I do know mine.
So maybe you start off, and
I'll start us off. I'm taking the.
By the way, we went last week. I can't believe I took the fucking Broncos. I'm 0-1, and Ticket is 0-1. So you have a tie. You have a push. I have a loss. So technically, you get the start because you're ahead of me. So
yeah, not a great start for our mortal locks.
No, and Jeff, you could make your pick of the week too. By the way,
I will give you a college football game.
Okay, that's fine. That's acceptable.
And I will give you the Pac. They're called the Pac-12 now, right? The Pac-12 championship, USC against Utah. I don't know what the spread is. I don't know what anything is. Utah beat USC this year. USC is on a roll. Their offense is playing unbelievable. Whatever USC is, I'm taking them.
All right, beautiful.
And then they're gonna
favored
walk right
USC -3.
Yeah, they're gonna walk right into the college football playoff.
Do you think Caleb Williams is the Heisman?
He's a Heisman, and I think he's gonna be a good pro.
Okay.
He's got a lot of Patrick Mahomes in him.
Do you think he could unseat Trevor Siemian for the backup job of the Chicago Bears?
Yeah. Maybe Tavares Jackson as well.
Jesus.
Who's the guy? There was
Go.
There was a backup quarterback. He had an interesting name on Seattle for many, many years. It wasn't Tavares Jackson, but it was somebody, and he was the all-time backup quarterback.
Tavares Jackson. He also played for the Minnesota Vikings as well.
It wasn't Tavares Jackson. It was somebody else.
You know who else has had a job for way too long is Tyrod Taylor. I remember seeing him at Virginia Tech and thinking, this guy stinks. He was not good, but he's just made a career for himself. And every time he gets
all right, Tig, let's hear what's your pick of the week.
I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens to obliterate the Denver Broncos in Baltimore. Baltimore is favored by 8 points. That's a lot of points, but Mr. Unlimited sucks. I mean, it's an atrocious team. So I'm taking the Ravens to blow the doors off of Denver.
And mine, okay, so you have Ravens at what? -8?
-8, yeah.
Mine is going to be the San Francisco 49ers -4 over the Dolphins.
That's your mortal lock?
I don't. Nothing with me is a mortal lock, but that's the pick I feel the best about, anyways.
You know what is a mortal? You know what is a mortal lock, Cutsy? Gardens of Texaco.
Yeah, we ordered from this Mexican place. Jet says it's to this day the best nachos he's ever had. I added like the guacamole, the sour cream, extra beef. We had a tough day the one day, and we were just losing everything. Those nachos, I do believe, helped get us through that evening. It really did.
The Jet is not much of a food guy, so anytime you sit down for a meal with him that isn't Chipotle, there's a really high chance he's going to say this is the best whatever
we had a couple good bangers of dinners, and we had one night, we had a Greek night. I ordered salmon, I ordered hummus and tzatziki with pita bread. I did a fucking huge like Greek salad. We've eaten well. Jet has definitely. I'm trying to take him under my wing.
You got to take him to that pizza joint that you were
Apolonia's, but I'm waiting till there's a few of us here because it's such a big buy. I want everybody to get in on the action.
True, and you got to take a break after your legendary pizza review. I mean,
I got fucking burnt to the ground, dude. I mean, I've never seen anybody be so fucking passionate about there's fire. Looks like you took a fucking lawn trimmings and threw it on a pizza. I was like, can we just fucking relax? You know, if you tried the pizza, people are just coming at me with pitchforks.
And that pizza
got a lot of content views, a lot of insights there, Jen.
That pizza box on your lap looked like a fucking boat. I mean, it looked like the Santa Maria you were coming in on, man. It was unbelievable. All right. Well, that's another episode of the Sportsman. Thank you to the Jet for having us, man. Or for being on. It was awesome. I love the Jet. I'm sure he'll be back regardless of how the views do. Joey D, another good one. Anything else to say?
No, man. It was good to have the Jet on here. I very curious to see how the views go. I think Jet's going to help spike the numbers a little bit. If I'm being honest, I really think that, and plus it was nice to have another person on just kind of for the flow of things.
It is.
We might need to incorporate a little segment for the Jet, you know, like the frauds of the week or something like that, and get him to come in and help us with our sports picks too.
I absolutely love it because he's a very thoughtful sports bettor.
That's what happens when you bet on a lot of sports.
No, sick. I'm retired. I've been retired.
He's officially retired, folks.
That's retired.
He's like Brett Favre. Yeah. He's like
Brett Favre. They hung my wallet from the rafters.
You're like Elton John, though. You've done 15 retirement tours.
I'll be at the Garden next week.
He is the Brett Favre of sports betting retirement.
Yeah, the camp. Ed Werder comes to my house every summer, and he's like, "We're waiting to see if he's going to come out."
All right, we got to get the fuck out of here. All right, boys. Another good one.
Miami tomorrow.
It's going to be a blast. We'll be checking in with you guys from there. Have a great week. That is Joey Cold Cuts. That is the Jet. I am the Big Ticket. Till next week,
and don't forget about Mr. Anderson.
And Mr. Anderson. See you later, boys.